Hello, I'm Toycat, and welcome back to the video. So I recently went through 9 items you should always carry with you when it comes to Minecraft console, and a lot of you did quite enjoy that video, so I figured why not go back and do the exact opposite, because logic. And today I'm showing you 9 items you should never carry with you in Minecraft console. The reason I figured I'd do this is because you only have 36 inventory spaces, and out of those 36 inventory spaces, sometimes you'll pick up some entirely useless stuff, but if like me, you're a little bit of a hoarder, you'll be like, oh, I'll totally need these shrubs at some point in the future, so I figured what I do today is show you 9 items you should never keep on you at any cost, because the inventory space is just infinitely more valuable than the item you can get instead. So hopefully you do all enjoy this video. If you do like it, like it and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and let us know you do like it when your dreams are crushed and your favourite items turn out to be useless and stuff like that. And in case you're thinking, no, Toycat, I really like one of these and I have a good reason why, I hate to say it, but your opinion's wrong, and I'm going to be explaining exactly why with today's video. So with that said, let's get straight into it with the first one here. I've already shown what it is. It's the shrub. So this is a really easy one to pick on because it's literally a worthless item besides one little intrinsic thing about it, which is the fact that it only spawns once, you know, when you first pick up the world, so you can maybe use this as a currency on very specific servers that have, you know, watched my currency videos, but most servers don't use shrubs as a currency, even if they are currency based, and most places you're going to be playing Minecraft never even have a currency system in the first place, so shrubs are just entirely useless. You shear them up, and then you have a shrub that just literally sits in your inventory that you can maybe use to, you know, place back down and pretend that you didn't pick them up, but besides that, a shrub or a dead bush is useless, except the shrub is even more useless than the dead bush, because the dead bush, at least as of the next update of console, is currently on PC, you can get sticks from it. So you might be like, oh, I need sticks, but I'm trapped in a desert. You know, dead bushes to the rescue, maybe. But when it comes to shrubs, no, you have no reason to pick them up, and you might as well just, you know, throw them on the ground, because that's as much use as you're ever going to use them in your world. So yeah, shrubs, first thing here, really aren't going to need them. They're just kind of a useless little thing. The second item that's kind of useless is this one right here, to light it on fire and get rid of them forever, because it is the fire charge. So the fire charge isn't useless per se. I think the reason it came out is kind of valid, because, you know, you're in the nether, you don't actually, you forgot your flint and steel, your portal broke, or something like that, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm trapped here unless I die. Fortunately, you can craft one of these. However, using the fire charge in general, like making a whole stack like I've done here, and using it over flint and steel, is just the objectively bad decision to make, because it takes, you know, like 64 gunpowder, 64 coal, and I think it's like 64 blaze powder or something. It takes lots of really high quality ingredients, and you still get something which is just worse than the flint and steel, as much as I hate to say it, because the flint and steel, you know, has 65 uses, I think it is, for the whole thing, whereas this gets 64. So even an entirely full stack of fire charges is still not as good as the flint and steel, and the flint and steel is a lot easier to craft. You just need flint and steel, funnily enough, as it turns out, or iron, I guess, as it's called in Minecraft. But yeah, that's all you need for the flint and steel versus a ridiculous amount of stuff for this. Fire charges are useful to keep on you one time, but if you have, like, you know, 5 of them left and you're like, oh yeah, I'll totally need those at some point, you won't. You can throw them away now, make a flint and steel, and suddenly you free up an inventory space. So yeah, that's why I think about fire charges. Let's light them on fire with flint and steel, shall we? And let's move on to the next item, which you shouldn't carry on you ever, because it is the water bottle, or I guess it's a glass bottle, but stored in water bottle form. So basically, you should always keep glass bottles on you in, you know, glass form, where you can have them in stacks of up to 64, rather than in water bottles, because although you always need... Oops. Because you always need to have Frostwalker boots on. Because you always need to, you know, even though you always need to turn glass into water, you shouldn't keep it in your inventory like that. And the reason for that is because they take up way more space. So there's 64, you know, bottles. I wouldn't be able to fill it before I ran out of spaces, which is really inconvenient. Because look at this, they're just still going in the water like that. Basically, you just multiply the amount of space it takes up, which is bad because you want to keep your inventory space. And yeah, the point I'm trying to raise right here is you should just keep water next to every single, you know, brewing stand in the world. So then you can just put your glass bottles in there, and then you can fill up more, and then you can put them in there, and so on and so forth. You should never keep water bottles on you. They're just kind of a useless item. If you have them, drink the water, turn it back into glass, and just make your inventory less of a painful place. So yeah, glass, you know, water bottles, bad. Glass bottles, good. Potions are good. Just try and keep them in water bottle form for as short as possible, because whenever I see an inventory filled with water bottles, I just go, why? And yeah, I used to make that mistake a lot. Don't ever make it, because it's just painful. It's just a waste of space, you could say. So next up, let's move on to the random bowl I have lying around here, because you might be thinking, oh, bowls are a useless item, but I'm actually going to go the exact opposite way of this, because I think any item that's stored in a bowl that isn't the bowl itself is the useless thing here. So yeah, if you just have a stack of bowls, that's arguably kind of stupid, because what are you doing with 64 stacks of bowl? What I think is what I think is even worse than a stack of bowls is if you keep, you know, if you keep your, you know, I guess your mushroom stew in mushroom stew form. So if you're curious as to what I mean by that, if you try, so let me show you this right now, if you try and make mushroom stew and just store a bunch of these around, so let's just do that, then suddenly you're filling up like 8 inventory slots, when really you could be using just 3. If you keep a stack of bowl, a stack of both mushrooms, then you're doing pretty well for yourself. You have a self-renewing source of food, but if you do it this way, then you have to wait for each one to fill out, and it's just really inefficient. So yeah, the only case where you should have a bunch of mushroom stew is if you're playing, I think there's specific PC minigames where you're like, oh, I would soup PvP, where the only thing that can regenerate you is the soup. If that is the case, maybe you could, use mushroom, maybe you should keep mushroom stew in this form, but if you're just playing regular Minecraft, you want to have your food be efficient, never store your food as mushroom stew, because you just have so many bowls that store inventory space. Again, whenever there's an item which takes up an entire slot to itself, you've got to think, do I really need that? And most of the time, the answer is no. An example of this being the wooden shovel. So the wooden shovel is one of the absolute worst offenders of, like, why does this tool exist? And I see a lot of people make it because they're like, okay, first thing you do in Minecraft, you chop down a tree, and you make yourself some tools, which apparently to some people means including the wooden shovel. So let's just first of all talk about why the wooden shovel's even one of the more useless things. First of all, it's the fact that it has 1 attack damage. This is the same as your fist, I believe, which means basically what you're doing when you hit people with this is just going, aha, it's a fist that looks like a weird thing, isn't that nice? So yeah, basically it has no attack damage benefits, and you might think, Toycat, I'm not crafting it to, get attack damage, I'm crafting it to, I guess, shovel dirt slightly faster than my fist. But the thing is, let me show you the comparison between using your fist and between using the wooden shovel. So here's my fist, here's the wooden shovel. Can you notice the difference? You can just about notice it. There's something like a 15% increase there, but it's still such a low amount considering that you're taking up an entire inventory slot and that you wasted wood, you wasted time crafting it. And I think realistically, if you ever have a wooden shovel, throw it away right now. You should just, the first thing you should do when you get tools is just go straight to stone tools, because a stone shovel, it's very slightly faster than your fish. You can be like, oh, it's noticeable, over enough dirt, it'll make it some, but with the wooden shovel, it lasts for like 60 dirt, which in that time, like you only just about make your crafting time up, and it's just one of those big wastes of your inventory space. Just don't do it, wooden shovels, not even once is what I'm going to say here. Just don't, guys, just don't. So let's burn that again, because I think it's that bad. And let's move on to the next item you shouldn't carry on you, which is the spider eyes. So yeah, spider eyes are one that I do this all the time, and it's like, this is a PSA to hopefully make myself remember, so I'm going to watch this video back and make myself feel bad, like, Toycat, no spider eyes for you, because whenever I'm going out killing mobs and just, killing all of them, so I get gunpowder, you get rotten flesh, you get, bones, all those things are kind of useful in their own little ways. However, something that's not useful in its own little way is the spider eye. So, the spider eye, in case you don't know, is a somewhat rare drop from spiders, I think it's like 1 every 3 kills, that are used to make weakness potions. So, they do have a use, so you can kind of argue they're useful, but how often are you making weakness potions? I mean, maybe if you're like trying to convert a zombie villager, or if no, that's about all the uses you get for them. So yeah, there's literally like 2 cases a game, maybe more if you make more villages, where you need to have the weakness potion because you're not drinking it yourself, and you rarely even want to throw it at other people. So that means that you need 2 spider eyes for your entire game total. How many spider eyes do you have right now? I bet for most of you watching this video, it's a lot more than 2, which means whenever you kill a spider, just treat these as something you throw on the ground and never pick up again, because personally I have like 4 or 5 stacks, and it's just like, this has been the biggest waste of space like keep on me, and I've never even crafted I've crafted 1 weakness potion, but was it worth the amount of spider eyes I've come across? Plus, when you go through all that effort, I believe, there's a different way to get to the weakness potion anyway, so you don't even need the spider eyes, even in the most crazy situations. So yeah, spider eyes, something you need 1 off, maybe 2 off in your entire game, and you can use 1 to have like 5 zombie villagers convert, and yet most people have an entire stack. It's one of those easy things that you can cut out of your life and not even realize it and make it a lot better. So yeah, little pro tip right there. Spider eyes, just no. I'd say not even once, but like not more than twice, I guess, but it's not quite as catchy. So with that said, let's move to the next item here, which is snowballs. So snowballs, they sound really useful, and on the PC they are, which is why a lot of people think, why don't they work in console? Well, the truth be told, in the base vanilla game of Minecraft, snowballs are basically useless. It's all the servers that actually add in the functionality where they can hit people. That's how it works in battle mode 2, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, when it comes to just snowballs, in the base version of the game, they do very little. There's a few things you might want to use them for, which I doubt any of you are, where it's like, if you really want to, knock away, what they call minecarts or boats, you can do it with snowballs. Okay, it might just be boats. So if you want to, if you want to knock away boats, if we can find some of those, you can do it with the snowballs. That's so useful. I don't know if I have any boats around here. So even in this contrived use I've just come up with, I can't even find anything around here. You can also knock back animals without hurting them. So if you're like, aha, there's a cow in there. Let me show him who's boss here. Aha. I'm showing you right there, cow. So, maybe that's the use you have. There's also a glitch right now, at least as of TU44, where basically you can knock someone out of bed with a snowball, but there's no intended real benefits for a snowball, especially if you're playing in single player. Again, there's some uses you can kind of come up with if you want to mess with other people, but in single player, it's just like, it's a tool that can be used to make snow blocks, which means if you ever pick these up, you should turn them straight into snow blocks, because snow blocks stack up to 64 instead of 16, and they waste way less inventory spaces. So yeah, if you have 3 snowballs in your inventory that you'll totally need at some point, you won't. Snow is a renewable resource. It's so easy to get millions off it. You don't need to keep 3 of it around. Just throw them away and be done with it. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next one here. The 8th item on the list, almost the final one. I guess this is penultimate, if you will, to get a bit fancy on this, because basically we've got the compass here. So the compass has a point, don't get me wrong. I think on the PC version of the game, or maybe if you're in a large world and you've lost your map, maybe you can be like, well, I just need to find the direction of spawn. But there's 2 things I would say. First of all, just make note of the coordinates of your spawn, then you'll never need a compass. And 2, the compass is so easy to turn into a map on the console version of the game that it just isn't when it comes to... Where did my food go? Did I pick it up? I guess it just despawned. But yeah, I wanted to eat. But yeah, with that said, basically, on the console version of the game, it's so easy to turn a compass into a map, because sugarcane actually spawns significantly more commonly on the console than on the PC. Which means if you ever have a compass and you're like, well, I don't have the paper yet, just look around you. You'll probably find sugarcane somewhere, and just, like over there, for instance, you'll find sugarcane somewhere pretty much all the time. So find your sugarcane, turn it into a map, and just use the map, because the map is so much more efficient. It lets you actually explore stuff. It gives you coordinates. It gives you, you can mark stuff down on there, whereas a compass is just a direction pointer, and given that, again, these 2 things are so easy to turn to each other, so, I found sugarcane, now I just need to find a tiny bit more, and, I think it's only 8 bits you need, right? So, well, you need a bit more to make a tiny thing. So you're just like, okay, find some sugarcane, pick it all up, turn it into paper. It's been a while since I've done this Minecrafting, so forgive me if I get this wrong. Oh, there we go. Paper, and then more paper. Put the compass, put the paper around your map, just like so, and then suddenly you've got yourself just a better version of the compass. Again, I really don't think the compass is something you should keep on you, because you start with a map, and if you lose that map, just make a new one. If you've got the things for a compass, you probably have the things for a map, and just look how much more detailed this is than go in that general direction. Especially because, that general direction is messed up when it comes to the Nether, it's messed up when it goes to the end, and the spawn isn't necessarily where you want to be. You might want to make, your spawn is where your world spawn is, not where your bed spawn is, which means if your house is really far away from the center, then you're still in the same situation of problems anyway. So yeah, compasses I can only see being useful if you don't mark down your spawn, which you should do anyway. So, remove 1 block, paste a little tower, then you'll know, oh, yep, this is my spawn because it's got the tower. Then you'll never need to have a compass in your world. Just don't waste the space on it. So, yeah, with that said, you might be thinking, that's a bit pedantic, Toy Cat, just going on about the compass. I like the compass. Well, let's just move on to a block that everyone can agree we should never have in our inventories, because it is the worst block in the game. That's right, you already guessed it. It's gravel. Why would you ever need to get gravel on you? I can't even bring myself to pick it up, because I don't have the space for it. Like, why would I waste that? So, yeah, gravel is one of those blocks in Minecraft, which you always, you pick up and you're like, this might come in useful, and then you end up with like a whole chest full of it, and you're like, oh, but if I ever drain water, no, you still wouldn't want to use gravel, because the thing about gravel is it has a 10% chance of turning into flint when you break it, which means that if you break a gravel block just like this, then what you're doing is you're basically reducing your stack each and every time, and it just becomes a worse version of sand. Sand, if you have 10 stacks of sand and you use it to, depressurize or get all the, water out, out of, like an underwater city, then you can at least be like, aha, I'm getting my sand back each time, isn't this wonderful? But with gravel, you're getting more and more flint, and what do you need the flint for besides making a flint and steel once every, year or something like that? You don't. You just end up with so much flint that you can argue like, oh, but it's totally useful for arrows or like coarse dirt or whatever it is. No, that's not how that works at all. Basically, gravel is one of those items that when you put it on you, it's just like, it's a curse basically. The curse of the gravel, keep it away from you, and your life will get a lot happier. So yeah, always use sand, never use gravel, and I think your life will dramatically improve. So yeah, in case you ever felt like, I do feel a little bit sad sometimes, I think it might be the amount of gravel in your life. So, Dr. Toy Cat prescribes one purge for your sadness. Anyway, with that said, hope you did all enjoy today's video. Hope you learned something about a thing that you should just ignore all the times. If you did all like it, like video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot, and lets us know you do like these sorts of videos, right? Again, just go through a particular random part of Minecraft. I have a hoarding problem, and after this video, now I've given reasons, you can all be like, Toy Cat, no, don't keep that, and I'll be like, yeah, I won't, and yeah, maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, maybe you just thought, who is this British guy, and why does he keep telling me that things are bad in Minecraft? I don't know, let me know with the words and stuff, but I hope you did all enjoy this video, hope you got something from something, because I'm gonna have to see you all in the next video, so have a nice day, everybody, goodbye.